Houses myself and Kaylin Ellis, featuring Virgil Abloh, Crystal Torres, and Grant Burris. It's available right now on Tidal Music, Apple Music, Spotify. Tape, myself and Soundtrack, also available on Tidal Music. I think it's on Tidal. Amazon, Apple Music, Spotify, etc., etc. The Lupe and Roy Show premieres October 8th on Spotify, Apple Music, and saywhatmedia.com. So make sure you tune into that podcast, myself and Royce the 5'9". The beginning of a beautiful friendship, of a beautiful thing. Questions, comments, concerns, considerations, you can put them down in the question box as per the usual. Shout to Smokey the Ghost, Amon Sakamini, Shadjur Raouf, Pistol Pixie, Mr. Legacy Jones, and Reef, our resident panel of experts here on the IG Live. Is that everything? Yeah, that was a good, clean intro. More tape songs soon. Yes. Why don't you eat before noon? Because I'm intermittent fasting, trying to stop from snacking. That's what it's really good for. Thoughts on Kenzo passing? Oh man, rest in peace. Kenzo made some dope stuff. I don't think I had too many Kenzo pieces, but he was dope. Dope designer. Passed away from COVID-19 actually. So rest in peace. Condolences to the fam. Serious questions. How do you think COVID is going to play out this coming winter? It's going to get worse. But, I mean, it could get a little better. It'll be less people going out, but it doesn't mean anything unless you're in an area where it's a lot of snow and it gets cold. And that's not really the case for majority of the country where it's actually happening. It's not going to get that, well, New York, it's going to get cold. Anywhere it's going to get cold, you're going to get more people outside, more people coming inside, less people kind of outside, which will switch things up a little bit. But here's the kicker: you're gonna get a lot of flu, and so I think it's just gonna make you're gonna have flu and COVID happening at the same time, which is gonna be a horror show. In climates where it doesn't really get cold in the winter, it's probably not gonna change anything. So I expect it to get a little bit worse than it is right now. Those are the projections. Do you think everything can be backed up by science? Yeah. Yes. Boop boop doop. Was math invented or discovered? Math was invented. Math is an invention. There is no math in the world, in the natural world. Math is a language. Thoughts on peace agreement signed between UAE and Israel? It's not a peace agreement because the UAE and Israel were never at war. It wasn't a peace deal. It's some bullshit between greedy niggas. So that's something Trump did for brownie points for his campaign. Peace in the Middle East. They were never even at war. Makes no sense. If math is an invention, then explain pi. First of all, it's not pi, P-I-E, it's P-I. And you never really encounter pi itself in the world. Pi is an explanation. It's a description in numbers of a certain phenomenon in the world. Right? But of a specific shape. So math is an invention. You go outside and go get pi right now. Anywhere in the world, go get it. The sun's not even a circle. The earth's not even a circle. I would go out and say that circles don't even naturally occur. The orbit isn't even a circle. There is no, I would say that the circle is a myth. It's something that we made up. It's something that we made. It's not a myth, but it doesn't occur naturally. It's a synthetic situation. 360 degrees in a circle, 365 days a year. Nah. No. It's arbitrary. The length of the year isn't necessarily arbitrary, but years aren't necessarily exactly 365 days. It changes. No, it's not. .360 degrees is arbitrary because you could have named it anything. You could have named it 400 degrees. It'd have been the same. And then you got to understand what are things, especially physical distances. They're based on very arbitrary things, right? Like the weight is based on the weight of a very specific mineral at a very specific measure and amount, like an amount, and that's the basis for weight. And you relate everything to that. That's arbitrary. That's just somebody decided to pick that and then use that, and then that became the standard that people believed in. So that's weights and measures. It's arbitrary. The temperature scale is arbitrary. It's very much so arbitrary. Both of them. The Celsius scale, the Fahrenheit scale, the Kelvin, all that shit's arbitrary. Especially Kelvin. Kelvin's really weird. What else? Distance is the same way. Again, math is just a description. It's a language. Yeah, there you go. So, with that said, this kind of flies back in the face of that. If math is supposed to be exact, right? Like super exact, then why do we all, well, to say that it's 365 days in a year isn't exact. So it actually does math a disservice to use that as an example, because that's not the exact. The earth isn't an exact circle. These are generalizations to speak to regular people, right? So the most people who really do encounter math on a real deep level, we don't, for the most part. Majority of us, almost all of us, is levels to it. So you're given a certain generality about math, about earth, lengths of days, all that shit at a very superficial level, just to get you to understand the basic concept. And then there's layers underneath that. Watch what's his face is what's his name? Neil deGrasse Tyson, where he talks about not why science is hard, but he talks about the layers of science. And at a certain level, it becomes I can't get you to understand this next level unless I get you to kind of get close to this other level. So they'll tell you a circle, but then it's like, but it's not really a circle. It's really an ellipse, but an ellipse is close to a circle. And then the orbit's not really in a total ellipse because it's constantly fluctuating. And then it's actually like a loop the loop. So it's not really like an orbit. It's like a this in the midst of a big. It's all kinds of shit. Is karma real? Why do evil people win, like you said? Real life and good movies. I don't think karma's real. But like I said before, I think karma isn't detached from your actions, if this makes any sense. So karma is as real as we fuck up our relationships to other people and then they seek revenge on us. But I don't think it's inspired by for some divine course. I think you have control over the karma, about how you treat people in your relationships, how you treat your body, etc. If you treat people like shit, then people gonna treat you like shit. If you treat your body like shit, then your body's gonna treat you like shit, etc. You treat the earth like shit, then it's gonna treat you like shit. So I think it's just the transaction, but I don't think it's like this divinely inspired situation. But I think somebody took that and turned it into a divine situation and kind of pushed it away from their own personal actions. But that's what karma's supposed to get you to do at the end of the day. So it might be like the same thing to get you to behave in a proper manner, right? And realize that there's this reciprocity. But I don't think it's like a divine thing. I haven't watched The Social Dilemma. If so, has your way of educating people changed? What's the premise? You can give me the synopsis if anybody knows. What is the synopsis of The Social Dilemma? Oh, it's about social media. What? Social media uses algorithms to guess what we like and make it more self-addictive. All big tech apologize and create media manipulation, math advantage. What's this? Okay. Right. So what's the point? Why is that so like? Why is that so mind blowing to you all? That's how it's always been. You know, social media. There's a book that came out a long time ago about a guy who wrote a whole book about how to get people addicted to social media and the tactics and things that you do. Preying upon people's wants for immediate gratification and all that good shit. So I mean, yeah, social media is addictive. Clearly. Do I think it's bad though? I don't think so. I don't necessarily think that it's bad, if that makes anything. I don't necessarily think that it's evil. I think just like anything else that's non-living, it all depends on what you do with it. It's what you project and use it for. So is social media bad because bad people use it for bad shit? No, it's bad people are bad. I keep reiterating this. The source of fucked upness on this planet is from human beings, right? It's not from an iPhone, right? It's from like people doing fucked up shit. So in that sense, no, I don't necessarily think it's bad. I think you do. I think you use it for what you use it for. But I've been new about that. About the addictive aspects of it. I mean, all this shit is addictive. Everything's trying to get you to stay tuned in and keep your attention. People have been trying to do that before social media. Newspapers are trying to do that shit. The dude trying to get change on the bus tried to do that shit. Your teachers trying to do that with you when you were going to school, and your parents tried to do it with you to make you follow and obey them and shit like that. So people have been preying upon your psychology for a long time. It's just that people finally got smart about it in a real serious way, and started to automate it and just focused on the very basic things. As opposed to trying to do all this other shit. So social media doesn't necessarily tell you what to do. They eliminated that aspect, right? They're not trying to tell you what to do. They're trying to get you to tell it what to do. And that's what it becomes, because everybody wants to be famous. Everybody wants to be known. And that's been like that for all time. People want to be known. People want to be visible. People don't want to be left behind. People don't want to be left out of the food. They don't want to be left out of the celebrations and the ceremonies and the blessings and the prayers and all of the other shit. People don't want to miss their favorite TV show. So there has to be a certain level of grabbing and maintaining people's attention. And people want to be known. They want to be seen. Ain't got shit to do with an algorithm. Ain't got shit to do with social media. Ain't got shit to do with tech companies. That's why I always look at tech companies like, y'all ain't really doing shit. But like building a bunch of like software, and that shit's dope. I mean, it's cool. But at the end of the day, what are you actually doing? Right? And the majority of the companies ain't really doing shit that hasn't already been done, you know, or that you don't do naturally. They just make it easier if you do the same shit that you're already doing. But everybody wants to be famous, visible. Everybody wants to be visible. Everybody wants an identity. Everybody wants it's rare to find someone who does not want that in one way or another. But everybody has that in them. Lupe is clearly not hip to Python CC. Look at you. Why do people play me like this? Like I'm just... I guess. Run with that. Have fun with that. TikTok is the biggest threat, spying tool for the CCP. The CCP don't give a fuck about y'all. I'm gonna just come out and say it. CCP don't give a fuck about what you're doing. You know how many companies there are in China? That nigga, your whole phone is made in China. Your chairs are made in China. Your whole shit. You don't think that they already got enough information about the buying habits? Everything that every company in America makes is from fucking China, and they have to tell the factory how to make it, what size, for who, what color. All of that data that they went into, like making that chair or testing that piece of furniture or that fork or whatever. You don't think they know everything about you? You don't think they've came to a conclusion that you niggas are not a threat? Right? I don't give a fuck about that data. You care about that data because it's yours. And you think that just because it's yours, your shit is important. That shit not important. We overemphasize our own. We have delusions of grandeur. If it's not a delusion, then it's an expression of an expectation of importance. But nigga, you not that important. Just so you know. They already know how to. They're not finna just bomb some random neighborhood. They don't need your coordinates to bomb your house with the 2 guns. They don't give a fuck about that. Like, they already know where the radar bases are. They know where the radio stations are. They know where the fucking missile silos are. They got satellites too. They don't need you doing dance moves in your fucking garage. Like, it's gonna better their strategic advantage. They already have a strategic advantage. And the other side of that, they don't really care. Now, there may be some people that doesn't mean that they're not monitoring it to a certain degree, but in terms of individual situations, nah. Now, certain people they are, definitely certain people they are, but you're not those people, right? You're not working at some nuclear facility or that you're not a civil engineer or some shit like that. Like, you work at Walgreens. Or you work at Amazon, or you work at fucking some other shit that they don't give a fuck about. Sorry, that's smoke. That's Trump again trying to push a company like TikTok and create like some bullshit for his fan. Like, he's fighting China. He's winning the war in the Middle East. He's beating coronavirus. He's doing this, that, and the third. That man ain't doing shit. I don't give a fuck about that. For she pays like TikTok. Fuck is that? Like, don't you understand? It's that app where people dance to the music. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Are you serious? This what you bringing to me right now? Execute this nigga. If you don't have a job where you need a security clearance, I'm just say this. Shout out to 2 Depressed Kids. Their single Check is out right now, first 15th. Go get that, yeah? If you don't have a job, then you need a security clearance. And I'm not talking about like a cop or a prison guard. You don't need a security clearance. That's a background check. I didn't say a background check. I said a security clearance. Unless you have a job where you need a security clearance, you're not finna have your own phone any motherfucking way. You're not gonna be able to bring your phone into the motherfucking building, right? They like, you gotta leave that shit outside. You ain't got that job. You ain't got that job. If you had that job, you wouldn't be on this live right now. You'd be at work. Enriching uranium, my nigga. That ain't you. Chill out. People be interested in my gray hair, man. Like, who do you think I'm trying to impress? You think I'm trying to impress you? I'm not finna dye my hair for you. Whatever, Tom. And these be men too. Like men. Like, hey man, you kind of gray headed. But you want to fuck or something? Man, if you dyed your hair, I'd fuck you, Lupe. Like, no, I'm not gay, nigga. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, but maybe if you dyed your hair, maybe I would feel a little bit better. I don't give a fuck about how you feel, nigga. Like, what do you mean? You see me talking about the condition of your motherfucking hair and your shoes and your skin? Nigga, you think I give a fuck about what you're saying? Like, you ain't gonna have gray hair either, motherfucker? Oh, you had a follow up to your question, huh? Then why do good lose, go to jail, get robbed, and evil motherfuckers around the world? Because good motherfuckers ain't the smartest motherfuckers. Just because you good, that don't mean that you smart. Just because you good, that don't mean that you're safe. Just because you're good, that don't mean you know how to defend your motherfucking self. Just because you good, that don't mean that you got the money to pay for a good lawyer to keep you from getting out of jail. Just because you good, that don't mean that you got the proper like weapons to like kill a motherfucker who's trying to rob you, right? So, I mean, it's just because you good, that don't mean shit in comparison to all of the other things that you need to have to interface with this planet, right? And the people that are in this world. Good ain't enough. So you got bad motherfuckers who smart, right? You got bad motherfuckers who sneaky. You got bad motherfuckers who know how to hide their shit. You got bad motherfuckers who know how to take the advantage. You got bad motherfuckers who understand that because they bad, they're gonna have to keep some of the best attorneys on retainer to beat their motherfucking cases or get their charges knocked down. Where that good motherfucker expecting all the good shit, he goes into court thinking he could just get away with the goodness, then he recognizes like, no, nigga, this whole shit is against you, and you didn't do the right investment, and you got the wrong attorney, and your ass finna go to jail. Your good ass incriminated yourself. Bad motherfucker, like, I don't know what's going on. I plead the fifth. Your ass thinking that you good because you finna go ahead and tell the truth, laced yourself. Now you looking at the world like the world's so fucked up. These niggas be always trying to call. Just like, nah, man, you should have just shut the fuck up, but you didn't. And now, look at you. Like Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is good. He's a good dude. But he's not a politician. So it's like, you can be good all you want. You ain't never finna be president. Walking around like that, talking the shit you talking. Never. But you good though. But it's good enough. Does good mean you're going to win? No. Just because a motherfucker bad, that don't mean he don't know how to play basketball. That he don't know how to shoot the J, right? That he don't know how to do all of the footwork in soccer, right? That he don't know how to, do knuckle puck and bullshit moves in hockey. He could be a terrible wife-beating alcoholic punk motherfucker. But when he get on that ice, he's an absolute genius. And he gonna win again and again and again and again. Right? It's just life. That's so cynical. Good wins in the end. Man, you so lost, Usman. But it's cool. Every time you come, Usman comes with the religious aspect of it. It's like, hey man, that's fine. The good wins in the end. When is the end? Is the end 1,000 years from now? Is it 10,000 years from now? We've been in this bitch for about like 245,000 years. And it's been massacres and savage rapes and mass murders and all kinds of shit. I'm waiting for this good shit to happen. Like, at least, like, end this shit now so we can get this over with and just get to the point. Because I don't know why we keep, what's the point? Right? When this motherfucking end gonna come? Be careful, don't wish for the end because it'll come. You know, I would want that shit to come. Have you seen this place? You see what niggas is down here doing to each other on a daily basis? I think that some people would prefer for this shit to end right now so we can get to wherever this promised land is supposed to be. Because right now, goddammit, motherfuckers been waiting for a long ass time. And every day is some new shit that pop up. I'm just saying, man. That's the response to people say that, man. It's gonna be good in the end, nigga. Do you know when niggas was talking that shit, that end shit? And this is one thing. This is one piece of advice that I do leave for people to take very seriously. And I was gonna tweet it, but I'm gonna say it right now. Stop being afraid of the dark. Stop being afraid of the dark and get off this end of the world shit. If you're a good person, get off this end of the world shit. One of the reasons why bad motherfuckers get over on good motherfuckers all the time is because good motherfuckers think this world is going to end. Bad motherfuckers don't believe none of that shit. So they here for the moment right now. And all that shit that you putting off to later, them niggas is doing that shit to you right now. And you expect, they gonna get it in the end. No, give it to that nigga right there. Give it to his ass right there. And you're going to see in almost every situation where a good motherfucker get fucked out of something over a bad motherfucker because the bad motherfucker was like, no, we finna do this right now. And in the cases where a good motherfucker get over, they ain't waiting. They do it. Get up and do that shit. You waiting for some shit to happen and the stars to align and your horoscope to be in the 8th house of the 7th box of the 8th seal with the 22nd. Fuck that shit, nigga. You better get in that shit and do it right now. Because that motherfucker who you think is a bad guy is going to do that shit to you immediately. But you waiting on the end of the world. I'm going to just wait on the end of the world to come. I'm going to just stay in my little box and wait for God to come to handle all this for me, man. I'm just going ahead wait. You're going to be waiting. You're going to wait 100 years. Then you're going to be sitting on your deathbed looking goofy. Looking goofy. Filled with regrets. Do you feel we should ban elderly presidents? Absolutely. Now, you can have a council of old niggas, right? A council of old niggas and bitches. Just old. Like, just give them that, right? They just sitting there just hitting you with the wisdom, right? But these old motherfuckers, in the real time, you got to bring that number down. And I'm not being ageist. I'm very sympathetic. If it was up to me, I'd get rid of everybody except the old people. The rest of you young dumb motherfuckers can go. Send them niggas to Mars. Leave us down here with these old motherfuckers. These cool ass old people that's just chilling. I'm fuck with them. These young stupid punk motherfuckers. But anyway, not being ageist about the thing, but at a certain point, man, you gotta have people that can relate to the average mainstream person that are making certain decisions. I believe this presidential, y'all, as much as I say this, I always believe this presidential shit was some bullshit from the gate, from the jump, from day one. This shit was bullshit. How you gonna have one motherfucker trying to run everything? Right? And I think Michael Eric Dyson or Mark Lamar Hill posted this up. I think it was Michael Eric Dyson. He's like, man, when President Washington was voted for, only 6% of the motherfucking population was able to vote. 6% voted this motherfucker in. No challenges. They was picking theyself. Like, yeah, I'm gonna pick you, then it's gonna be me, then you, then me, again, then you, then you. Right? That was your first slew of motherfucking presidents for probably about 150 years. Remember, women couldn't vote. Nigga, women couldn't vote to the motherfucking, what was it? The 20s or some shit? 1929 or some goofy shit? You know how many presidents? Hundreds of years. 6% of the population voting for these motherfuckers. So for me, the whole shit been bullshit from the jump. With all that said, man, there's different ways to have governance and council and different things where people of different experiences and ranges of experience, because that's what age is when I speak about it, a range of experience. And then, but also you got to understand that experiences, the objective things in the world change. And that means people's experiences are going to change based off those new objective things that are put into the world and the way people relate to them, right? LA don't look like LA back in 1925. Like Chicago of 1986 don't look like Chicago of 1996. Like there's changes that have been made, right? There's some fundamental things that stay, but even those things have to be updated and maintained. And if the front end don't change, the back end is completely different. If the back end hasn't changed, the front end is completely different. So you need people that are relative and in touch and sympathetic and empathetic to those changes. And sometimes old motherfuckers be set in their ways, right? And they set in their ways attached to a specific period of time. And they need a council of young motherfuckers around them to keep them updated and up to speed. So that's very inefficient. Why don't you just have a council of motherfuckers that run this shit, that are representatives of all the little groups, and those the ones that got their life is on the line. The President Trump and fucking Biden, I'm gonna say this, that if they don't, whatever they do with the environment, it don't fucking matter to them. Them niggas finna be dead soon. But to the 15-year-old, to the angry little white girl from Sweden, like she feel that shit because she the one gonna have to live in this fiery, deserted wasteland of a wretched planet this bitch gonna turn into in about 20 years if y'all don't get y'all shit together, right? She gonna have to live and navigate and eat human flesh through that motherfucker, right? So like that needs to be the forefront. The people who have to that's gonna actually inherit this shit need to have a certain amount of say so. But with that said, young motherfuckers don't be knowing what the fuck they be talking about though. That's the other side of the equation, because young motherfuckers don't understand that there's multiple sides to each story, and that's where wisdom comes into play, that there is a relationship and a sophisticated set of little subtle, fragile relationships that need to be protected and maintained. Young motherfuckers just be like, oh, give me some ice cream. It's 2 a.m. I want an ice cream sandwich. Like, what the fuck are you doing? So it needs to be a combination, is basically what I'm saying. You need more of a combination. You need more representation of the actual age group, which is actually inheriting and inhabiting the world at present, right? They actually have some skin in the game. That's one of the issues with Medicare, right? And healthcare for all, like Medicare